So if you are holding Bitcoin right now, if you are asking this question, what to expect next for the medium short term, what to expect next for the upcoming days here on price action of Bitcoin, then this is the right video for you, because in this video I have prepared some very interesting chart which is pointing us where the price of Bitcoin in the medium short term, where the price of Bitcoin for the upcoming days might be possibly heading. So before I jump into the content, please do me a favor and destroy that like button, and to those individuals watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. Now looking at this in a weekly time frame, we can see very clearly, guys, the price of Bitcoin after breaking out of this resistance from this falling trend line has finally started to show this impulsiveness, where the price is forming higher highs, higher lows continuation pattern type of formation. I mean, the price of Bitcoin, if you look at this carefully, is forming higher highs, higher lows movement. And now if you follow this example here on the right hand side, we are forming a very similar scenario, which is indicating us that in the medium short term there might be some shakeout, there might be some retracement, price coming back to test the key line before starting another impulsiveness. I mean, price after retracement around this rising trend line could start another impulsiveness here in this manner. I mean, higher highs, higher lows continuation pattern type of formation before deciding an actual trend direction. And now, even if we look at this in a bit different way, I mean, if you use this 21 weekly exponential moving average and RSI in a weekly time frame for Bitcoin, we can see, guys, in the past price action, whenever the price of Bitcoin has found support above this red line, which is 21 weekly exponential moving average, what has happened here in price action of Bitcoin? Started a new impulsive movement. I mean, each and every time the price of Bitcoin tested the support from this 21 weekly exponential, where the price is above this red line, we have always started a new impulsive movement. But when the price is below the 21 weekly exponential moving average, you can see this exact line, which previously acted as a support, acted as a resistance. In our case, if we look at this carefully, the price of Bitcoin is above this 21 weekly exponential moving average. So what I'm trying to pinpoint here is that in the medium short term, even if the price of Bitcoin does show shakeout, does get attracted towards this key line of support, which we have around 28,000. Right now, this 21 weekly exponential is sitting on 27,700. So there might be a shakeout, but at the end, we could still come across 28,000, hold that line and slowly start with a new impulsive movement. And as long as we remain above that line, we are still expecting the price of Bitcoin to show another movement here like this, get attracted towards this 0.5 Fibonacci line around 40,000 before deciding the actual trend direction. But if we look at the price action of Bitcoin and look at this RSI is forming a bearish divergence. Price of Bitcoin formed higher highs, but RSI in a weekly is forming lower highs, which is a sign of weakness for the medium short term. That's why, guys, in the medium short term, we might see some shakeout, but please be careful. If the price manages to remain over 28,000, then this shakeout will be looked as a temporary shakeout. Now, even if we look at this in a bit different way, I mean, another weekly time frame scenario for Bitcoin, any sort of a retracement in the medium short term will be looked as a retest from this rising trend line or the lower trend line from this rising wedge before deciding the trend duration, which is going to be around 28,000. And at this exact line, we also have the support from our indicator, crypto Anup buy sell indicator, which has flashed buy when the price of Bitcoin started showing weakness around 26,000. And since then, you can see the price of Bitcoin is showing impulsiveness, but now there might be some more weakness on our way, but we know we have some strong line of support lining for Bitcoin above 28,000. So any sort of a retracement around that area will be considered as a temporary retracement before price again starts showing another impulsiveness. Now, before I start showing you another example, please, guys, try that like button if you haven't done it yet. And to those individuals watching this for the first time, come on, hit the subscribe button and the bell. Now, let me show you the chart. Now let me show you this very interesting scenario here in a daily time frame using this linear chart and Fibonacci line, because if you take this Fibonacci line from this low till this high and look at this retracement, when the price of Bitcoin was in an uptrend, we got retraced around or between 0.5 0.618 Fibonacci line. And what happened when the price found support between that range? We started with a new impulsive movement. Now, what I'm going to do, I am going to take another Fibonacci line from this low till this high, you can see the price of Bitcoin also got retraced between 0.5, 0.618 Fibonacci line, right? You can see just like here from the past price action before breaking it to the upside. Now what we are going to do, we are going to take another Fibonacci line from this low till this high and look at this price movement. So in the medium short term, if the price does shows weakness, does get attracted towards this lower trend line, then this 0.5, 0.618 Fibonacci line is where we could be getting attracted. And if we do find support above that range, that will indicate new impulsive movement, just like here from the past price action. I mean, following this exact scenario could lead to another higher highs for Bitcoin, which could be between 35 to 40,000 range before deciding the trend direction. That's why, guys, that's why if the price of Bitcoin does shows any sort of a weakness, we do have some strong line of support around 28,000. You can see support from this 21 weekly EMA, support from this rising trend line, support from this rising wedge, also the support from this crypto on a buy sell indicator, and now even the support from this 0.5 Fibonacci line. But in the medium short term, I mean, if you look at this here, by simply using this falling trend line, you can see nothing much has changed. The price of Bitcoin, as expected, showed retracement around the previous temporary support line, got rejected, and now we are showing sign of weakness. So if the price of Bitcoin, after failing to break out of this previous temporary race line, then there might be some more continuation here like this. I mean, price trying to break out of this falling trend line, but at the end showing another reversal here to the downside around 28,000 range. But let's suppose if the price of Bitcoin, instead of this bearishness, starts showing bullishness, what must happen? We have to, right? We have to break this resistance which you have around 29,600, 29,700 into support, because by doing that we are going to invalidate the bearish scenario, and price after that is expected to show further continuation here like this, because we know parallelly the price of Bitcoin, after getting rejection around this 0.5 Fibonacci line or the falling trend line between 29,600, 29,700, has also flashed a bearish scenario which is known as dead cat bounce. Yes, guys, this dead cat bounce is also flashing us the price in the medium short term, after getting rejection around the 29,600, 29,700, could be preparing itself for this new lower low. So if this dead cat bounce scenario is going to play out, you can see I am actually expecting the price to show a continuation around 28,000 to 28,400 range before again deciding the trend direction. So that's why, guys, that's why in the medium short term the price of Bitcoin might be flashing some weakness, but please do not panic, because we know we have another support lining around that area for Bitcoin, which is this bottom CPI line. Yes, according to this leading indicator, price has failed to flip this resistance line into support, because this exact line acted as a support. This exact line rejected the price while trying to re-enter above it. Now in the medium short term, if the price shows further weakness, this center line around 28,800 could be retested, and even the bottom CPI line could be retested, which is sitting around 28,000 range. So in the medium short term, if the price breaks this central CPI line around 28,800, prepare yourself for another continuation here to the downside, which could bring the price of Bitcoin around 28,000 before deciding the actual trend duration here like this. But if you see price showing bullishness instead of this bearishness, then we definitely need to overcome this resistance which you have around 29,600, 29,700, because if we can flip this previous temporary resistance into support, then I am actually expecting the price after that to show another continuation here like this. So this is what I see looking at the price action of Bitcoin in a different time frame using different scenarios. If you enjoyed my work, then please, guys, destroy that like button, and to those individuals watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. Now by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye.